Hi guys, I am super excited today, and I know our music-loving viewers will be too, because I am joined by the R&B soul legend Maxwell. He is in the house. Welcome.
Yeah, hi everyone.
Oh, you're so modest. How are you today?
I'm elated. I'm excited to be here. It's incredible to be in Korea. It's wow. Seoul is pretty amazing. It's beautiful.
It's so great to have you here. Can you say hello to our PikaCast viewers first of all?
Hello, my name is Maxwell. Hello everyone in PikaCast land. Thank you for having me on your show, and thank you so much if you came to the show yesterday or if you're coming to the show tomorrow. Thank you for showing us such honor by attending, and I hope you enjoyed last night, and I hope you enjoy tomorrow.
So it's your first time in Korea. How are you finding it? What are your first impressions?
Well, the food is exceptional. I mean, everything is judged by the bar of food for me. And it's weird. It's like soul food for Asia, basically. Spicy, there's grilled, I'm a fanatic for Korean food, because in New York there's a street, 31st and 32nd Street, which is like Little Korea.
Right.
So basically all the food, karaoke, all the spas, all the traditions that are represented are in this one block. And so for me to come to the actual place where all of this was created is pretty exciting. And I just never thought that there was so much love for music in this way, and just how cool and hip. And the other thing that's really pretty surprising is that there's so many young people that were aware of what the music was. I was shocked by that. And I'm 43 years old, and I'm seeing, it's kind of difficult to gauge what an Asian person's age is, because you guys are like porcelain. But you get a sense of clothes, and you kind of like, this person has to be 24 or 30, or and why would they know my music? Why would they be aware of what I do? And it's a great compliment that all these years have passed, 20 years of music making, and that you could still be relevant to people so far away, you know?
And I definitely saw that in the reactions of the crowd yesterday at the Seoul Festival, which you performed at. You were the star billing, really. How was it for you?
I mean, it's, for me, we're all stars in the sky shining. I was just, the last one to play in my mind. But I'm grateful that, for me, it took me 2 hours to go to sleep. I was vibrating with so much excitement after the show, because I couldn't believe how blessed I was. I go through my ups and downs in my life and in my career, and of course that plays itself into the music, but to see the fruits of labor that was seeds that were planted at 22, means something. I mean, to do something, a song I wrote when I was 23, Look Me On Where, and to see that song mean something to people who were probably not born when it arrived.
Right.
It meant a lot. I mean, it's just, this has been such an incredible year for me, just celebrating 20 years and being able to go around the world and to honor, people who have passed away, like Prince and Muhammad Ali, and to use my career and my platform to shed light to issues in the world. I never thought that it would be this way, that I could do that, So it's exciting to be able to be a ray of positivity in a world where there's so much conflict right now.
You were quite the crowd pleaser, with the Korean flag, which you waved about as you came onto the stage. You incorporated Korea and Seoul into your lyrics as well. The crowd loved that.
Absolutely.
Some sick dance moves too. And you mentioned Prince and Muhammad Ali, who at one point you asked for the spotlight to be taken off you and for people to direct their attention to the screens, which were showing a very powerful video. And I recognize Prince and Muhammad Ali, but who are some of the other people in there? What were you trying to get
Black
across?
Lives Matter is a really big issue that's going on right now, that we're trying to bring resolution to. Marching started with Black Lives Matter, which was 2 years ago, and began the awareness of the police brutality and just how guns play a crazy role in what's going on in America. And then I joined Alicia Keys' initiative, 23 Ways, to get legislation, to get Congress to take a look at it more seriously. Because you can march all day long, but then you have to take it to another level.
Right.
So I've just been focusing myself on those victims that have fallen. And then there was, of course, an amazing Korean artist that had passed away last year. He's like kind of a real legend, and the videos that he's done and just the messages that he represents were so close to my heart. And I wanted to sort of customize his life for the people of Korea. So that's kind of what I'm doing basically. I'm just trying to pay homage to people who have left a legacy that has joined so many people in so many different ways in a world where politics can be very divisive. So,
right.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your latest record then, fifth album, Black Summer's Night. Can you tell us more about the album?
Yes, it's the second installment of the trilogy, Black Summer's Night. It takes us from where we were before on the first album. It's a little bit more of a responsible approach to a bit of the victim aspect feeling that I had on the first.
Okay.
I've gone past being the victim to the person that realizes how I played a part in what Pretty Wings was, and how my attitudes have evolved in terms of just how I see that it's how you think that creates the relationships around you. So then we delve into that. In some ways, there's a lot of much more vulnerability there. There's a lot of seeing your insecurities, pointing them out. We want it to be a lot more funkier, a lot more up, because a lot of my records have a tendency to be like very laid back, smooth, and I became kind of well known for the love music.
Yeah.
So I wanted to kind of go back in time a little bit to the days of Something Something and Ascension. And so, that's why we have things like All the Ways That Love Can Feel, and 3, and The Fall, and so I'm excited. I mean, it's a very different sounding record. It's with the same people. Hod David has been with me forever.
Right.
We wrote Till the Cops Come Knocking, Pretty Wings, Lifetime. I mean, he knew me when I was 19. It's just, we always just want to evolve. We just want to keep people feeling like, wow, he's not making the same record. It feels the same, but it's not the same record. It's, we try new things. So I just hope people are happy with it.
You said that you were trying to take it back to the first album, because a lot of people have said that your voice seems to have changed on this new album.
Yeah.
And then others are saying, you're still the same good old Maxwell. What are your thoughts on that? Was it a conscious decision?
Yeah, I mean, things got rougher, things got grittier. It's kind of, wanted it to be grittier. I mean, I had like a very pristine falsetto. Obviously, I was 22. I mean, I didn't have the rigors of life and experience and Japanese whiskey or whatever kind of like alcoholic beverage, but we went for a specific sound. I wanted to be more, I don't know, I always rely on my falsetto so much that it was like, I forgot that, and I've got that down. The third record, the third installment, will have a lot more of a, see, I just got to plan it out so much, so people don't know. It's like kind of like a I don't know, like a series on HBO or something. Like I kind of know that what the next season's going to be.
Okay.
And so I'm watching people react to the current episodes, songs, season, and then I'm like knowing full well that as they get led to the end of the record, they're gonna that other things are gonna happen. So it's a little tough because when you make a trilogy, you know more about the whole picture,
right? And
people are reacting to the small aspects of what they're getting. So at the end of the day, I'm just happy that they even know I exist. I'm serious.
So modest.
No, I'm serious. I mean, there's a lot of people out here. I mean, there's the amazing Frank Ocean. There's the amazing OVO group called DVSN. Guy has an insane voice. There's so many great people. Gallant. I look at all of them and I'm excited about what they do. Ro James, Miguel. So I never take it for granted that maybe, you know, I might step into the game and then people are like, well, you know, someone took your spot, so, you know, maybe it's time to sell real estate somewhere or whatever. I don't know, you know.
No, not yet.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I just, you know, I don't take it for granted. You know, it's a gift that we get to do what we do. I can't do it. How can I say? I can't do it for the money thing or the fame thing. It never worked out for me when I tried that. It's just not a real reason to be creative, is to be well known. It's got to be something that has meaning. And it takes time. A lot of my records are kind of growers, and you know, you have to sort of like feel them out a little bit sometimes, which I love records like that I'm kind of like, huh? A lot of Prince records were like, huh? And then later on you're like, wait, you don't understand. This is, and Miles Davis was that way. So, you know, when you're not going for a formulaic approach, you can, you know, go through experiencing a little bit of the criticism of like, well, it's, you know, not quite like this or whatever, but that's the point. The point is to put a record out that's not like the last one, and that is not like that one that's going to come out next after that one. That's the point of evolution.
Right.
And so I'm just grateful that people are cool, you know.
So is that why it took you quite a while between the first and the second installment of the trilogy? Because you said back in 2009 when you released your fourth album, Black Summer's Night, that you would release an album every year after that. What happened?
And I messed up. I don't remember why I did that. I put myself under such scrutiny with that one. But I will say that the reason why the time was so extensive was, one, I was very much into I was very shocked by Black Summer's Night's success, the first one, like Pretty Wings and like the awards, and I mean, it had already been 7 years away, so I thought to myself, oh, you know, I've done this record and I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't have this afro anymore. Everyone's telling me why'd I cut my hair. Like, it's just like, I'm thinking about the music more, and I'm wondering, you know, is it gonna matter? And then it was awesome because it mattered to people. People cared about the songs, and I was so blown away by its success. You know, Bad Habits and Pretty Wings and Fistful of Tears, and so it scared me because the anxiety of, you know, I thought it was worse to even have to, you know, live up to Urban Hang Suite, but then you come back with a whole new thing. It's part of a trilogy. Now you have to live up to that first part. Sequels can be pretty interesting, not so good to people. And, you know, I don't know, you know, I listen to a lot of what's going on. This trap music. Music is very electronic now, very compressed. Everyone sounds absolutely perfect because they're going through things that make them perfect sounding. Right. So this record was so important that we went so against the rules in that way. There's no affected part of my voice. We're recording through analog systems. You know, I'm sometimes holding the microphone in the studio with the speakers going. So the sound is not this pristine, crisp thing. And I was kind of into going against the grain because, you know, I like records like Arcade Fire, and they kind of really go there a bit. So, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, I'm sorry it took forever. And I can guarantee this, and I know that I've said this before, so I don't expect anyone to believe me this time, but I really don't have any, you know, desire to be 50 releasing the same album title again. Like, I'm close to, we're done with the third. I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait to just, you know, I got to pace it out because there's still songs yet to be released on this one. We're doing really well with 1990X. We just finished a video for that. So when we get whatever we get out of this whole experience with the Summers part of the trilogy, Night will follow, and then there's this other record that I'm so excited about. that just departs from all of it, and hopefully it'll be out in a time when the music industry is a little bit more like knows what it's doing.
Okay.
Because things are crazy.
Right. But it's not going to be 7 years.
No.
Is it? Okay.
No, I'm really excited about so many different things. Like there's film, not as an actor, but there's like investments that I've made. There's things that I've done in terms of festivals. There's a lot of stuff that I want to do to facilitate other artists. I'm like at a place in my career, I'm 43 years old, so, and I hear so much from so many people, like the Toronto artists and, you know, just all the people who, you know, make records, and they're just like, you know, I was 7, I was listening to your music, and I feel like this responsibility to create like an avenue for people, not to control them, because I'm not about creatively controlling people, and you know, it's their career, it's their art, it's their gift. I just want to give them an opportunity to kind of go and fly and do what they can do. So I'm really hell bent on that. We have like this 2-year tour. I mean, this is just the beginning.
Right.
I mean, there are like I think 6 legs to the tour for summers that merges in with night. So you'll be pretty much wanting me to go away.
I highly doubt it. All right, so we talked about your falsetto, which you're best known for, really. It's incredible, by the way. Just seeing it live yesterday was, everyone around me was going, ooh, ooh. Did it come naturally to you, or did it take a lot of training?
I mean, you know, I used to always make, when I was a kid, I used to, the reason, it's funny, this is how I knew I could sing. So this is a story I don't think I've ever told anyone.
Okay.
So this is like a new one for Piggy Cast.
Sweet.
So you guys are getting an exclusive right now. I used to always make fun of opera singers.
Oh.
As a kid, I would sing like opera. And of course, I had a high voice as a 5-year-old, so I would just do this whole opera thing. And then one day I was like, wait a minute, this is this weird joke that I do vocally. And then I started to be able to sing. So the radio would be on and I would try. And I remember being in the bathroom, and I didn't have a vibrato yet. You know, it was just like, like that, right? And then you get to that place where, and then you're like, whoa. And I'm in the shower and I'm like, yo, I just did a vibrato. Like, and then one day I was on the train and I wrote a song. I never thought I could write a song, so I thought to myself, let me try to write a song. And then I just started writing a song in my head, like a little weird melody, and I was like, wow, this is weird. This has never existed before. This is my own thing that I wrote. So it was all happenstance. It was all just, I didn't have this thing where it was like, most people, they go to school, they train, they're like, this is what I'm gonna do. It was like, it was all by accident. I would just fall into getting into songwriting and getting into singing, and then, I mean, it just all surprised me. I mean, I'm like, yo, this is happening. And,
amazing.
But the falsetto part is, you know, it can be challenging because air conditioning, you know, just outdoor venues versus indoor venues. I mean, it's very tricky to kind of, to know how it can work. And rest is so important, water, and I mean, there's just so much stuff. I'm probably the healthiest I'm ever when I'm working.
Nice.
Because for your voice, it's just, you just have to literally, you know, everyone's out at the party at the club. That's where everybody went to Octagon yesterday. I was home getting ready for this. But you know what?
Professional.
I prefer this. I mean, I can go to a club any day of the week, but you know, when do you get a chance to sit in front of, you know, just an incredible audience? And I mean, I know this app, and I know how it works, and I'm just grateful to be here. This is exciting for me. Like, even driving through the city and seeing the architecture and just how everything is done with great purpose and intent. Like, you didn't just do it, you did it. You know, like,
right.
It's really beautiful. It's beautiful how you guys think, how creative it is. I'm big into art, so I see all the art that you guys have around, and it's like, wow, it's very, very clever. You know, I thought England was really clever, you know, but this is really smart, you know, even the details that you have in terms of just healthcare, the gym. I mean, everything is just so. There's a very healthy, conscious thing going on.
There is.
Why is that? Why are you guys so full on like that?
I don't know. We take care of ourselves.
You do.
We value our health, our bodies.
Yeah.
I think
and that's why no one looks old here. It's like crazy. It's beautiful. I mean, I'm not complaining.
I think a little bit of genetics helps.
Yeah.
too.
I mean, the skin is insane. It's beautiful. And it's funny because I was doing radio earlier with a couple of people who are from Korea but went to school in the South.
Right.
So it was like interesting to see everyone, you know, like have this Southern sensibility, but from Korea. And now I'm getting the new version of this, which is the English sensibility from Korea, which is not bad. Like, what part of Korea, I mean, what part of England did you end up growing up or hanging
I
out?
grew up in southwest London, in the Kingston, Wimbledon area where they do the tennis.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you play tennis?
I don't. I'm terrible at sports, unfortunately.
Do you like it there? I mean, you have this super hot weather here, right? And then over there, sometimes it's a bit overcast. Like, does it affect you?
For the most part, I love Korean weather,
Yeah.
except for the month of August, which we're in now.
Yeah, it's deep.
It's amazing. English weather sucks. Yeah, Korea all the way. So you must have had a really tough childhood. Would you say music helped you got through that?
Yeah.
What kind of impact did it have on your music?
I mean, it changed my life. I mean, here I was, a child that was not expected to be made. It was a total accident. It wasn't planned. I grew with that the burden of that. I grew with that sense of, I'm a burden, So for me, when music and creativity came into my life, it gave me a purpose, a sense of will, something to be proud of. In some ways, I do appreciate the way I was raised, because the part of it plays into me not really ever really connecting with this whole idea of who I am to people, because I didn't grow up feeling like that sense of, what families do for their children, where it's like they're very encouraging and, they make you feel like you're great and that you're loved. And in some ways, not having that made me write a certain way, made me long for love a certain way, made me appreciate, it actually made me seek out the world's love in a way that I probably wouldn't have if I would have had this natural sense of acceptance growing up at home.
Right.
But you have to understand, growing up with the family that I had, these things are not conceivable to them, because it's like you grow up, you become a lawyer, you do something that's pragmatic. Music, like, there's no chance there's like a slim chance that you're gonna make it. So I wasn't really supported with it. But I'm pretty stubborn, and I felt this burning fire about it that I just knew that I had to do it. Like, it just made me so happy, and there's nothing. And I'd done so many different jobs. I mean, like, I was a dishwasher, I was a busboy, I was a Pizza Hut. I mean, you name it, I did the job. And I remember I knew what just doing a job for the money was. And there's a huge difference when you do what you love from like your passion. And I think that's probably what played into a lot of why I make choices that have nothing to do with celebrity, and why sometimes I'm not really showing myself on the cover, or there's always something hiding me. I'm not really kind of like, hey, like the direct in your eye, famous person kind of thing. I'm just grateful in some ways when I look back, even though it was very difficult growing up. I am grateful for what I had to go through in order to be able to write what I've been able to write. So, I mean, all is well when it comes to the family thing. I mean, there's lots of forgiveness and love there. But, there's always a reason for things, and that's kind of what I've learned. I didn't understand that in my 20s. I was quite angry about a lot of stuff, and of course, it made me so driven to succeed. but now, you know, I'm kind of like, let bygones be bygones. It's kind of not worth, especially when you have the great cathartic avenue of being able to make music that lets it go, you know.
And we're so thankful that you chose this path.
Thank
and
you.
brought us great music. I'm sorry I brought the mood down so much.
No, not at all, not at all, not at all. It's good to talk about it because I'm sure that, you know, there's someone out there who's feeling the same way and could probably look at my situation and say, well, hey, I can actually make something out of this you know, confusing reception that I'm getting at home. A lot of kids have to, you know, adhere to a lot of the rules of their parents. You know, it's very difficult. I'm very lucky that I was able to be free enough to kind of pursue my dream, to have it lead me here to Korea.
Yeah.
And hopefully maybe, you know, by telling someone my story, it'll give them that courage to say, hey, you know, it could work out for me too. You know, I don't have to, you know, do what I'm expected to do. Life is mine. I mean, it is your life at the end of the day. I mean, you do want your family to be proud of you. You do want to live up to certain expectations. They did bring you into the world. They did feed you. But at the end of the day, your happiness is really is yours to reach for, you know. And there's nothing better than being able to, I would think, if I was a parent, than seeing your child live their absolute joy, you know, as opposed to living what they expected you to live. But that's a whole other thing, you know, that depends on where you are. And
you have had a huge influence on many, many people, especially in, you know, R&B and soul. So who in turn has influenced you?
Hands down, Marvin Gaye, Prince, you know, Sam Cooke, Harry Belafonte. I mean, they're like the quintessential chic, black, eccentric, their own universe type of people. I don't know if I necessarily have that, but I look at them and I think, wow, you know, there's so many spectrums to what soul music is. There's trap and there's hip hop and there was so many things like that going on. But when I was a kid, I would look at like Marvin, I would see him and he'd be all dolled up and, you know, he would sing that smooth stuff and he had the ladies, he had the guys, the crazy. He would write social, political things. Then there's Bob Marley. I mean, but then there's David Bowie too and Bob Dylan, Elvis Presley. I mean, there's so many people that I looked at and went, I mean, if there's like a slim chance that I could probably get to this place, maybe like this much, I kind of want to go down that road. And it's great. It's been great because, and then there's Sade. I mean, forget about just the guys. I mean, there's Sade. There's just certain people who kind of do their own thing. They march to a beat, their own drum. It's great when it's great, and sometimes maybe they're not hitting you the way that you expect them to, but there's this quiet respect for the fact that they do what they do, right? Because it comes from the soul for what they want.
And are there any particular songs that you'd like to recommend to our viewers? Some all-time favorite?
Geez, my goodness. I mean, I, of course, Prince's Adore, Marvin's Time, From Here, My Dear, Sade, I would say. Never Thought I'd See the Day. Even Mermaid. I mean, there's so many songs. I don't even know where to start. But there are new people too, like DVSN. I love The Line. I love. There's another song that they have called Hallucinations. And then there's like a music that's not even like, there's Elvis Crespo, which is like this Colombian artist. There's Khaled, not DJ Khaled, but I love him too. But there's this other artist who's like Arab, who's amazing. He's got the most amazing scale, because you know they sing with that scale. It's bizarre, but it's amazing because they have four notes in between our notes. So like if it's CD, then they have like 3 notes in between that CD.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like
like
you've heard like Arab.
I have, yeah.
So it's really cool the way it sounds, and I mean, like I can go on into like classical music. I mean, it's just like I'm a nerd when it comes to it.
So lots of different influences on your music. Nice, and I think your brand of neo soul music has had a particularly big influence on PB&R.
Really?
PB R&B, along with artists such as Frank Ocean. What are your thoughts on that? Do you listen to much PB R&B?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think Frank Ocean is one of the most, I mean, hands down songwriting, just genius. Just the pictures he paints, the colors. I mean, it's just, I gotta give it up. I mean, but I'm not a hater. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so excited about new music. I don't believe that there's only one person that should hold the throne, so to speak. There's room for everyone, and I believe in my heart of hearts that the more good music is out there, the better the world is, the more we can quell the calms and the conflicts around the world. You know, when we look at the civil rights era, there was so much good music out. You know, we had Aretha Franklin, James Brown, we had Curtis Mayfield. I mean, everywhere you turned, it was like the baddest of the baddest. And then there was Bob Dylan, and then there was Janis Joplin, and then we just had like an era. It was such an incredible era of music, and I feel like that music was a sage that calmed the stormy seas of social injustice that was plaguing the entire world. And so I feel like now more than ever, in light of everything that's happening with Black Lives Matter and you know, just Trump, I'll say no more, and you know, all these things European wise, and it's like we need good art, we need good music, we need artists again, we need that community to be. And it's a little difficult for the community to get the kind of rewards that they used to in order to make it really great, because, you know, music can be just downloaded for free. Like, it's bizarre the way it works. But live is, like, to me, this is why live music is so important, because there's no duplicating a live show, right? It's like, you were there or you weren't. You can see it on, like, your phone, but were you there? I mean, if you were there, it's a different thing. So I'm great. I'm with him, and I love Frank, and I love what he's doing, and I can't wait for his album. In fact, I feel like now I kind of understand the frustration a little bit that people had with me, because I'm like, where's the album? Does he exist still? But people love him, and people are looking out, and it's interesting. We used to live in a world where people used to tell me, and this is what I used to get a lot, which is, you know, if you don't put a record out every 2 years, you know, your career will be over. And now people are starting to realize that you can kind of take time, you can live, you can do things, and what's the rush? You know, I have a weird motto, which is like, never rush to fail when you can take your time to succeed, you know?
Oh, nice. So
hopefully, you know, we're still a month and a half with this new album. There's more to come. I mean, more than the album, it's about the show for me. It's really about a family reunion of sorts, because that's what Korea has been for me. Even though I've never been here, I've been here. I mean, these songs have been kind of here. And I feel like I'm meeting these people that I've never met, that I've met already. It's so cool.
Permeated into their lives. What do you think of some of these more electronic EDM and even DJing trends over live performances?
I don't mind them. I mean, I think that there's a place and time. I think that, you know, everything fluctuates. It's all cyclical. I feel like people want to experience music in different ways. You know, generations have their right to change the game a little bit. I don't believe that, you know, everyone should have a turn. I mean, I was 21 and I had my moment with coming into the world and being the new fresh guy, and everyone should have their turn, you know. Doesn't mean that disqualifies you in any way. Tony Bennett is a great example of that. Frank Sinatra at his time. I mean, you could still be in your 50s and killing it, you know. Jay-Z is still just as relevant as he could ever be. It's not about age, it's just about how you execute your work and how you honor your moment. Really, that's really the thing. Be who you are. Be the moment that you're living. I think young kids can smell a rat pretty quickly. Like, if they get a sense that you're trying to be like what is happening now, it's like they're like, stop. You know, like, you're Maxwell, this is what you do, just do what you do. It may not work in the way that it would work for a younger artist, because it's, you know, the youth deserve to kind of like create their own kings and queens and princes of whatever their era, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But we all are connected through this weird thing of time and cycles. I mean, I was 23 listening to the 70s, and now I'm 43, and most of the kids that are 21 are listening to the 90s. So it just, you know, I'm not disqualified, nor were the Isley Brothers disqualified when I started. So I think it's like it's all peace, it's all love, it's gonna work out. Just do good music, you know?
All right. So you're pretty open to lots of different genres then, but what's the biggest appeal of R&B and soul to you?
The emotion. I mean, this, you know, just being able to kick back and have a song say something that you couldn't express in words. Particularly for men, because women are easy because they're emotional, they're beautiful, they are in touch with stuff. But the thing that I kind of appreciate about soul music is what it can do. It's like, I know so many guys who tell me things like, man, you know, I didn't know what to do, I didn't know what to say, but I just put this woman's work on, and she kind of got it, you know?
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
So to be able to be a communicator for, especially a group of people who are supposed to be stoic and non-emotional and can be judged for not being manly enough, to be able to be an avenue musically for them so that they can say, hey, you know, wow, you know, like he's this, like the girl, like she'll go, yeah, I get it.
Right.
Like, you know, like for example, it's funny, when I did this woman's work, which Kate Bush wrote, and I did the song on purpose, because it's funny, when I did it, it wasn't like people really got it. They were like, what is this song? And so this is what happens to me all the time. It's like, I get this feeling that I'm not succeeding in the beginning. Right. And then a couple months later, I'm getting calls about how, yo, this is my joint, you know? And I never get this reception of like, whoa, you know? And that's cool, I'm used to it. It's been 20 years of it, and I fully accept it. But when I did this woman's work, and I found out that like 5 years later was put in Love and Basketball, and it was like, wow, you know, the way people responded to it, and the way men responded to it, and were like, you know, this thing made me understand something, and how to it's just, that's the power of music for me, is being able to convey people's emotions through your songs.
Right, must be a privilege to be kind of speaking on behalf of so many people. So what does music mean to you?
Life. I mean, you could even on my first, because I was doing some stuff earlier today somewhere else, and I always have a speaker box or headphones. I mean, I never don't. It's never a time when I always have a song that's on repeat that I'm crazy about. I just love it. I mean, even if I was making 10 cents, I mean, this is great. I mean, there's a film crew here. You're a beautiful woman, and you're here talking to me on this amazing show that you know so many people look at, and I guess on the app, right? Right. And it's great, you know. But if this wasn't happening, I'd still be crazy about music. Because I was in graphic design initially.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, you know, my homework was make a magazine, make a billboard, create an ad mat for a television show. I mean, like that was what we did, because I was really good with art, and I get into music, and I threw that away and I just knew. And then everything was devoted. I mean, every job. But I had 2 jobs when I was in high school, getting music equipment to learn. Like, I mean, it made me crazy because I couldn't learn as fast as I wanted to, but I mean, I just knew. I mean, every waking moment was, I gotta do this. And just the feeling that you got from being able to sort of finish a song and hear it back, but then more than you liking it or feeling good about it is like the reaction of someone else. Like when I first did a song that because my friends used to laugh at them, they'd be like, okay, cool, that's cool, keep having fun. No, really, I was not. It was awful. Those songs were terrible. No, they were terrible. I you know, you have to crawl before you can walk, right?
True.
So, you know, but it's like, I just want people to know that you're gonna fail 100 times before you're going to succeed. That if you're really going to walk into the door thinking that you're going to knock it out the park, you got another thing coming. I mean, practice is really what it's about.
Yeah.
Diligence, persistence, humility, discipline. You know, just keep it that, and that's what I learned. And you know, then the songs got better, and the ability to craft songs got better, and now they just happen. Like I can't even tell you, like Lost on this current album was a one-take vocal. I mean, I never wrote it down. It just happened.
Wow.
Listen here, just one take, record, done. There's a few songs like that on the album. They just wrote themselves. You get to that place where you just know it, and you're brave enough to say what it is that you need to say, I think. I don't know. I mean, hopefully it's good to people. I mean, I feel cool about the new album. I really like it. I mean, I don't listen to my music a lot. I'm the last person to listen to my own records because, you know, I got to do them live, and I've been working on them so long that, like, I've heard them. I get it. But when I listen back to it, I'm like, you know, I like what some of the words are doing. I like what it's speaking about. I like that it's not formulaic. I like that it's organic. I like that there are mistakes in the vocals. There are moments that are not so perfect because everything is so perfect and compressed and like crushed and like, you know, like it's like music on steroids. You know, everything is loud. There's no nuance. There's no a thing. But that's I love it that too. It's just for me to make that would not be what I think is what people want from me. Right. You know?
And we love it too. We love it too, Maxwell. So what's next for you? I mean, you've got this Asian tour going on. What's going to be happening after that?
Well, we go to Australia. I get back to New York in September to do some fashion stuff. Okay. Which is going to be cool because September in New York is amazing. I don't know if you've been.
I have.
It's incredible.
Very, very cool.
Right, yeah. The weather's like, wow. But I would assume the weather's very similar here.
It's really
September.
Nice.
Right,
in
like
the autumn.
Breezy and
sunny.
Like that.
Just perfect temperatures.
Exactly.
Nice.
So gonna do that, and then I head off to Europe to do the co-headlining King and Queen of Hearts tour with Mary J. Blige. Yeah. She's from Yonkers, New York, and she's got a new album coming out, and I'm so excited to work with her. I mean, she's been, for me, I mean, there's no one that just, I mean, she delivers when you least expect it. Yeah. It's like she's one of those, like, I don't know, it's like Jordan or Pippen or something. It's like, yeah, you know, you don't know, and then bam, it happens. And then out of nowhere, it's like, here she is again. Yeah. And so I'm just so excited that we're gonna be in Europe, you know, starting off her album experience, starting mine. In Europe, it's been a long time being in London at the O2 Arena and like Zenith in Paris and all these places. So we're going to do it. We have amazing production that I don't think is going to take away, because I'm not into big shows that like the lights are so crazy that, you know, you can't concentrate on the music and on the performance. But there'll be something that's pretty exciting that we're designing for the European fans out there. And then after that, hopefully we can get her and I can continue in North America, and it just depends on her schedule, because you know, she's got her own thing that she's doing, you know, with releasing her album. I don't know what her label is going to want her to do or what her commitments will be, but this is exciting for me to be able to say that I shared the stage with Mary J. Blige. Just like, I mean, you know, we're friends. I mean, we've tried to do a couple songs together over the years. I'm very terrible at completion, as you know, and I called her and I was like, look, this has nothing to do with you. You know, I'm crazy. I'm a perfectionist. I just wanted it to be the right song, so we came up with a cool song, and I just get to work with her. I just think she's great. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's like she was you know, reminiscing on the love she had and real love. I mean, I was a speck of dust somewhere blowing in the wind, trying to figure out if I was going to get a record deal or even write a song when Mary was Mary J. Blige. So for me to be working with her is absolutely a dream come true.
Amazing. I wish I was there.
I mean, there's ways for you to come.
So after the tour, hopefully the album release? Final part of the trilogy?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. You know, I'm excited about the third part of it because it's, I don't want to give away. I feel like it's like the Game of Thrones or something. I can't wait to just wrap it up, and I think it'll come out pretty special with this like beautiful, all of them together kind of package thing. Yeah. To surmise it. This will not end my career with Columbia, but my contractual agreement with them. And then, of course, we'll figure out whatever, because I love Columbia. I mean, it's the home that I began with. I mean, Bruce Springsteen's there. Bob Dylan was there. Aretha Franklin
company.
was there. Yeah, it's not a bad place to be.
No.
You know?
Not at all.
It's a great company. And I just want to say this, just personal message to you and to all the people out there. Thank you for, you know, accepting me again and allowing me to come into your homes and into your music, into your ears. And thank you, Korea, for such an incredible reception. I don't think you guys know how you made me feel yesterday. I felt so important in a way that I never thought I was. And I think because of yesterday's show, and I can feel like maybe in the future, the show tomorrow, you guys are shifting my understanding of myself, and you can't imagine what that means to me. It's the world, and I thank you for it. So thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us today, Maxwell, and sharing some of your insights with us. And we have a little something for you.
What? Oh, yes. I've so heard about this. I'm the nickname Coffee, right? Is that what people call me, right?
It's a huge brand. Yeah. You're it.
Can we talk about equity?
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your music.
Thank you so much for you.
Guys, make sure you get Maxwell's 5th album, Black Summer's Night.
Summers!
Emphasis on the summers.
Yes.
New series of Game of Thrones.
Yes. Well, I'm not saying it's Game of Thrones-esque, but I will say that, you know, it's definitely on its way. It will be very different. It will touch on topics that have a lot to do with what's going on in the world. So it's going to be very interesting. It's the first time that I've like walked into that realm. I've been the love guy for a long time, and I feel like it's time to speak about other things. So
all right.
We'll see what happens.